So I was about to make my lunch today and I thought we need to do something a little bit different and pull out the camera and film this because you need to know how to make this easy, delicious, high protein lunch idea. This is a meal I have been eating on repeat and I have to share it with you all. Now, it doesn't really have a name because it's not so much a recipe, it's more of like an assembly only meal prep extravaganza. It only requires 4 ingredients and I think what we're gonna call it is a creamy kabocha protein bowl. So good. All you need is roasted kabocha squash, which I'm going to chat about in a moment, some grilled chicken or any type of leftover protein or meal prepped protein you have in your fridge, some cottage cheese, because I have to have cottage cheese to everything, and a little bit of hot honey. Now, this is a great meal if you're working on health goals, if you're working on weight loss goals, if you need something diabetic friendly. It's a really nutritious, flexible meal. And I want to start by talking about the kabocha squash because I am slightly addicted to kabocha squash and for good reason. It's a winter squash. Let me show you what it looks like. When you buy it at the store, it's going to look like this when you buy it whole. So it's like a little Japanese pumpkin. Think of it as a cross between a sweet potato and butternut squash. That's what the flavor profile is, but it's a little bit drier and it's a little bit denser. And to prep it, I'm not going to do a deep dive into the prep, but once you cut it in half, you'll see it has seeds in the center, just the way a pumpkin does. So all you need to do is scoop those seeds out. Okay, and if you wanted to, you could save these seeds and then roast them up just like you would if you were making roasted pumpkin seeds. And then what I like to do once I have the seeds out is I just cut this the same way I would if I was working with, say, a cantaloupe. So you lay it flat side down and cut it into wedges. Which, by the way, this is something I would do on the weekend, okay? So this is gonna be a Head Start ingredient that is prepped and waiting in my fridge. That's what makes this simple lunch idea so quick to make. It comes together in literally 3 minutes if your ingredients are prepped. And then I just cut the squash into wedges like this. Now, I have videos on how to do the whole kabocha squash thing, and I will link it for you in the description box below. But basically, you would put that all on your roasting pan, season with a little bit of like salt, pepper, olive oil, garlic powder, whatever you love, roast it up, and then you're gonna end up with this gorgeous, delicious, roasted kabocha squash. So come in here, let me just show you what it looks like when it's all cooked up. Okay, so you can see it looks a lot like a sweet potato or even butternut squash, and I roast it with the skin on. The skin has a lot of fiber and it's totally edible, so you do not need to take it off. What I love so much about kabocha squash is that not only is it delicious, but it is lower calorie and lower carbohydrate, so it's lower in starch than sweet potatoes and even butternut squash. So about 250 grams, so like a scant 2 cups, which is a good amount. I'm going to show you what that looks like actually. Let's weigh it out so I can show you. Is going to deliver about 30 grams of carbohydrates. If you had the same amount of sweet potatoes, that would be closer to 65 grams of carbohydrates. And if you were talking about butternut squash, you'd be coming in around like 45 grams. So this is a great option if you want volume when you eat, which is what I like because I like to eat. I'm an eater. I like a big plate of food. So if you want volume when you're eating, this is a fantastic option, okay? So come in one more time. I just want to show you, this is 250 grams of kabocha squash. It's a lot of food, right? It looks so good. That's already cooked, it's in my fridge. I put that in my bowl. Then today I have the bottom of the barrel of some leftover chicken in the fridge, but this could be ground chicken, this could be ground turkey, this could be a lean ground beef, whatever type of protein you want, all right? And I'm gonna just cut this into small bite-sized pieces. So I've really been working to prioritize protein in all of my meals. And yes, does it take like a little bit of thinking, a little bit of planning? It does, but when you start to get the hang of it, it's very easy. And what you're gonna find is that you feel really satisfied and really satiated after you eat. I know protein is like all over the internet right now, and I have to tell you, I am on board because I've noticed a big difference for myself. All right, once I have it in the bowl, I'm gonna get a paper towel and I'm just gonna heat this in the microwave, just a couple minutes in the microwave. If you don't do the microwave, you could of course heat it in a bowl or in the oven. It's just gonna take a little bit longer. The microwave is super fast, like 2 minutes. Okay, I just popped it in there for 2 minutes and she is nice and steamy. She's warmed through. And then to finish it, all I do is top it with a dollop of cottage cheese, which not only is gonna add more protein, but it's super creamy and it blends right into this bowl. It's a lot of people eat cottage cheese sweet, but it's delicious savory too. So I would say about a 1/4 cup, not even a full serving. You don't need, just a nice big plop over the top. Okay, maybe a little bit more. And then the real, like, hallelujah, bring it all together is the hot honey. You're just gonna drizzle a little bit of hot honey over the top. And there is something about this combination. It's the sweet, it's the savory, and then it's the warm, and then it's the cold and the creamy. You've got like all these multiple dimensions of like flavors and textures going on that literally make this a flavor explosion inside of your mouth. And what I want you to see is that it's 4 ingredients, and if you do a little meal prep on the weekend, like grill your protein or saute it depending on what kind you're making, roast up your kabocha squash, you can make this meal in minutes. Okay, so let's just show you how it comes together. When I take a bite, I like to get a little bit of everything. So I get some chicken, I get the squash, and then we gotta make it perfect so I can take a good bite here. Oh, come over here. Okay, and down it goes. I have literally been eating this for a few weeks on end, and that's why I was like, I have got to show you guys how to make it. So if you are somebody who is trying to increase your protein intake, just know that I am right there with you. I think it's a worthy cause, and I think meals like this make it really easy to do. And I'm gonna do my best to keep kind of sharing what I'm doing in my own life to try to make your journey easy as well. So if you've got a go-to high protein lunch that you've been loving, drop it down in the comments below so we can all learn from each other. And I'm gonna see you guys back here next week with a brand new video. Cheers. Genuinely a must make. Just a complete obsession.